You know what separates the traders who make real money from the ones who blow up their accounts? It's not intelligence. It's not some secret indicator. It's something far simpler and infinitely harder. It's the ability to do absolutely nothing. I know that sounds crazy. We live in a world that celebrates action, hustle, constant movement. But in trading, the market doesn't pay you for being busy. It pays you for being right. And being right often means sitting on your hands while everyone else is chasing moves. Today, I'm going to share the brutal truth about patience in trading, why most people can't handle it, and how learning to wait transforms your results. This is the lesson that took me years to learn and cost me more money than I care to admit. Let's dive in. The deadly urge for action. Here's the thing most traders won't admit. They're addicted to action. They need to have a position on. They need to feel like they're in the game. But the market isn't a slot machine. It's a weighing machine. And it's a waiting game. Think about why most people actually fail at trading. Is it because they can't read a chart? No. Plenty of losing traders know their technical analysis inside and out. Is it because they don't have enough capital? Sometimes, but not usually. They fail because they cannot wait. They must have action like a card player who can't stand not having cards in his hands. Have you ever caught yourself staring at a chart thinking, well, maybe I'll just put something on just to be in the game? That right there? That's the urge that empties accounts faster than anything else. When I first started trading, I thought the trick was being clever, spotting every little move and trading it. Sometimes it worked, but most of the time I'd win a little here, lose a little there, and by the end of the week I had nothing to show for all my effort. That's when the light bulb went off. It's not the constant trading that makes the money. It's the sitting. It's waiting for the real play to show up. The paradox of waiting. Here's what sounds absolutely insane to most people. You make the most money not by trading, but by waiting. The market has a brutal way of punishing impatience. If you chase, you pay. If you guess, you pay. If you force trades, you pay. But if you wait, if you sit with your hands in your pockets until the picture is crystal clear, you'll be amazed how the odds tilt in your favor. The big money isn't made in constant small trades. The big money is made in the big moves. And big moves don't come every hour. They don't even come every day. They come when conditions are ripe. Until then, you wait. Think about setups like a train schedule. If you miss one, don't chase it down the tracks. Another one will come. But you've got to know what train you're waiting for and where it stops. Most traders don't even know their setups. They just jump on anything that moves. That's not trading. That's gambling. And you wouldn't walk into a casino thinking you can beat the house by playing every single hand, would you? The best trades I've ever made didn't come from luck or hunches. They came from setups I knew cold, patterns I trusted, conditions that lined up perfectly. And until they lined up, I did nothing. That's the secret most people won't accept. Waiting looks like doing nothing, but in truth, waiting is work. Waiting is discipline. Waiting is the trader's real craft. The test of discipline. Can you sit there with a chart in front of you and do nothing? Can you hold back when your fingers are itching to click that buy button? That's the test. I used to think I had to catch every swing, up, down, sideways. If there was a move, I had to be in it. You know what that left me with? Commissions, mistakes, and a bruised ego. Then one day it hit me. I didn't need every swing. I just needed the fat part of the move. The big middle section where the odds are clear, the momentum is undeniable, and the setup is perfect. The market will always give you chances, but not all chances are equal. Some are noise, some are traps, but a few are golden, and you've got to train yourself to wait for the golden ones. Let me give you a real example. In one campaign, I waited weeks for a stock to form the right base. Every day it wiggled and teased, but it wasn't ready. People around me said, "You're missing moves." But I knew better. Then one day the volume swelled, the resistance broke, and the setup was perfect. I went in heavy. That one trade paid more than a dozen small ones could have. And I would have missed it completely if I had wasted my capital chasing noise the week before, folding weak hands. This brings me to one of the most important concepts in trading: folding weak hands. Think about poker for a second. The amateur plays every hand because he thinks to win he has to always be in the game. The professional folds more hands than he plays because he understands the true test isn't how many hands you enter, but how many you avoid. Trading is exactly the same. Every dollar you put into a poor trade is a dollar you cannot use when the real opportunity shows up. You only have so much ammunition, and wasting it on weak setups is the fastest way to run out before the real battle even starts. The market doesn't care how badly you want to be in a position. It only cares about probabilities. And probabilities don't favor the trader who forces weak hands. Preserving capital isn't just about holding on to money. It's about preserving your confidence, your clarity, your discipline. Every losing trade eats away at your mental reserves. It makes you desperate to win it back. And desperation is the graveyard of traders. Cash is power. A bad trade is weakness. Every time you fold a weak hand, you strengthen your position. Every time you force a trade, you weaken it. Most traders hate being on the sidelines. But here's the truth. Sometimes the best position you can hold is none at all. Cash is also a position, and that cash is ammunition that keeps you alive long enough to take the strong setups when they appear. Preparation during waiting. Now, let me be crystal clear about something. Waiting doesn't mean being lazy. Waiting doesn't mean daydreaming. Waiting means preparation. People think waiting is idleness, as if sitting outside the market is wasted time. But waiting done right is the hardest kind of work. It's studying your charts, it's watching your levels, it's marking your conditions and keeping yourself ready. Because when the setup comes, you can't hesitate. You can't be asleep. You've got to be ready to strike instantly. There were days when I wouldn't make a single trade. To outsiders, it looked like I was doing nothing. But inside, I was working. I was watching the tape, marking my charts, learning how the stock acted when it was strong and when it was weak. That preparation is what gave me conviction. When the setup finally lined up, I already knew that stock like an old friend. I knew how it breathed. I knew how it reacted. That allowed me to act instantly without hesitation. Many traders confuse patience with laziness. They say they'll wait for their setup, but they do nothing while they wait. Then, when the setup appears, they're unprepared. They fumble their entries. They size wrong. They panic when the stock moves against them. That's not patience. That's neglect. The professional studies the stock daily during the wait. He notes the narrowing range, the volume patterns, the way buyers step in at support. By the time the breakout comes, he's ready. He knows the price levels that matter. He knows exactly how much he's willing to risk. He knows his trigger. Execution is fast. It takes seconds, but preparation takes hours, days, sometimes weeks. And it's that preparation that makes clean execution possible. Building wealth through subtraction. Here's something that will blow your mind. Wealth in trading builds just as much from avoiding unnecessary trades as from winning ones. Most traders think the road to riches is paved by piling on trade after trade. But wealth in this game isn't built only by what you win. It's built just as much, maybe more, by what you don't lose. Every trade you don't take is an act of wealth building, provided it's one of those low-quality setups that would only bleed you dry. Unnecessary trades are like termites eating at your account. One little loss doesn't seem like much, but over time the structure collapses. A small stop here, a minor drawdown there, it feels harmless. But stack them together and suddenly you've erased the gains from your best trades. There's a kind of wealth that comes from subtraction, subtracting the poor trades, subtracting the half-baked setups, subtracting the boredom trades. By cutting them out, you leave room for the real ones. Think about a jeweler. Does he keep every stone he sees? No. He sorts, discards, rejects, until only the true gems are left. That's what you must do with your trades. The brutal truth. Let me hit you with some brutal honesty. Trading is less about intelligence than it is about temperament. The market humbles the smartest people in the room. But the patient trader, the disciplined trader, he lasts. Why? Because he waits for his pitch. Like a baseball player who doesn't swing at every ball, he waits for the one in his zone. Then he swings hard. Are you swinging at every pitch, or are you waiting for your pitch? That's the question you've got to answer, honestly. The market doesn't care about your opinion. It doesn't care about your need for action. It doesn't care about your hopes. It only cares about setups, about conditions, about probabilities. You can't bend the market to your will. You can only align yourself with it. And alignment comes from waiting until it shows its hand. The crowd loves excitement. They love the action, the tips, the constant movement. But the crowd is usually wrong. Why? Because they're impatient. They can't sit still. They must always be doing something. If you want to win, you've got to learn to do the opposite. Stand apart. Be patient. Wait for your setups. The choice. Every single day, the market tests you. It whispers temptations in your ear. Here's a little move. Do you want it? Here's a false breakout. Will you chase it? Here's a setup that's almost ready. Will you jump the gun? Every day your discipline is tested. Whether you pass or fail those tests decides your future in this business. The hardest lesson of all is that you don't need to be active to be profitable. You don't need to be clever to be successful. You need only to be patient, disciplined, and ready. The setups will come. They always do. The question is, will you be there with money in hand and mind in control when they arrive? Or will you have wasted your capital and your confidence on impatience? That's the choice every trader faces every single day. Conclusion. So let me ask you directly, do you want excitement or do you want wealth? Do you want to feel busy or do you want to be right? Because you can't have both. Trading for excitement is a losing game. Trading for setups, waiting with discipline and striking with conviction, that's the winning game. The next time you see a chart that looks tempting but not perfect, ask yourself, will you fold or will you play? Will you preserve your capital or will you risk it on a weak hand? That decision, repeated again and again, is what makes or breaks you in this business. Remember, the market pays you for being right, not for being active. Learn to sit. Learn to wait. Learn to do nothing until the moment is absolutely right. That's when you strike. That's when you win. That's how you build real wealth in the markets. If this perspective changed how you think about trading, hit that like button and subscribe for more no-nonsense trading wisdom. Drop a comment below and tell me, what's your biggest struggle with patience in trading?